question, does anyone really know about Nu Skin? And everyone's answer was, well, it's the big building down in Provo. So let me tell you kind of where we began, how we began. It was 1984 when Nu Skin was founded. Okay? And it was founded by a lady by the name of Nedra Roney. And Nedra Roney had a close friend named Sandy Tillotson. And these ladies were kind of what I call frou-frous. Sorry, but I do. That means they cared a lot about how they looked. They cared about wrinkles. They cared about dressing nice. They cared about having beautiful hair. They were just very into themselves. And that's okay. All right? But the fact of the matter is, at that time, in the marketplace, there was no skincare products that were using natural ingredients. And these guys had pioneered the concept of using humectants. Does anyone know what a humectant is? Humectants are little things that our body produces naturally that attract water. Also hyaluronic acid. So whereas the competition was using mineral oils, waxes, petroleums, and different fillers, these guys came up with something that our body produces naturally. Okay? That was their concept. Their concept, their product concept, the product philosophy was all of the good and none of the bad. You see, I don't know if any of you go to Nordstrom's and you buy their very expensive product called Clinique. It's about $400 or $500 for their anti-aging product if you buy their whole entire system. You'd be better off rubbing the box all over your skin, okay, than that product. The fact of the matter is that your body can stay moist. Okay, if I jump out of the shower and I put a rubber band and a plastic bag around my arm with rubber bands, okay, my arm will stay moist. It will die, but it will stay moist. That's what waxes, petroleums, and different things do to your skin. It traps in moisture, your body can't breathe, it's not good for you, so you have to wash it off, and it builds up. So, guys, we're predominantly guys. Guys don't care about skincare, I get it. That's really not a true statement. You should come and fill my face. You should. It's unreal. No, seriously. Isn't that unreal? So when I joined Nu Skin and I started using their products for the first day, I'm like, I can't stop touching my face. I called my best friend, Brad Joust. Brad, I can't take my hand off my face. That was how I pitched in the business. What are you talking about? Trust me. We got to talk. Okay, so here's the bottom line. Okay? I want you to recognize the trend as we talk. And skincare and anti-aging is a monster trend. So, back to the story. It's 1984. These ladies come up with this idea. Okay? They tried to start this as a traditional business. They went out looking for investors like any other business startup would do, and no one believed in them. So they really didn't think, let's do it network marketing. Lots of companies begin in network marketing because it's inexpensive to start those kind of companies. So Nedra went to her brother, Blake Roney, who had just graduated from BYU Marriott School of Management, was going to head off to law school, had $5,000 accumulated for his future schooling, and he decided to invest it in Nu Skin, and Nu Skin was born. Okay? They decided to do it as a network marketing company. That's kind of another nice little story. Sandy Tillotson was married to a gentleman by the name of Craig Tillotson, whose mother was Clara McDermott, or is Clara McDermott. She owned a wig shop in Salt Lake. And Clara, okay, was a little bit overweight. And so a long time ago, prior to 1984, she found a product called the Cambridge Diet. Has anyone heard of it? Okay, the Cambridge Diet. And it was a mail order company at the time. So she bought this Cambridge Diet, started using the product, lost about 40 pounds or so. Well, what happens if you're overweight and you lose 40 pounds? Everybody says, what'd you do? How'd you lose that weight? What are you doing? How'd you lose that weight? Hi, guys. How are you? Walk right through. Come on. Or join us. It's wet out there. So everybody said, well, how did you lose your weight? She owned a wig shop in Salt Lake, okay, called Clara's. She had a lot of clients. And so she started to stock her shelf with this Cambridge Diet product, and she would sell it out of her wig shop. Well, she got a call one day from Cambridge Diet saying, we're changing the company. We're changing the structure. We're going to become a network marketing company, and we would like to sponsor you because you sell so much of this diet product. As soon as she was sponsored directly to that company, okay, her income soared. I think she was making $40-some-odd thousand a month at the peak of Cambridge Diet. But like all things diet related, okay, they usually come to an end and a new diet is born, correct? And ultimately, Cambridge Diet went the way of most of the other direct sales companies and network marketing companies we talked about previously. They died. But after you've tasted residual income and you've tasted that kind of income, that's a challenge. So they jumped into another diet product and did very well, her and her son Craig. Okay? And then ultimately that company died. So she vowed never to do network marketing again and was approached by Sandy, who said, we need to do this, we need a structure, we need to do this plan. So she consulted with her son Craig, and they came up with this idea. Keep in mind, they're distributors. Okay? They had been distributors in network marketing. They created Nu Skin's compensation plan. We define ourselves, our vision is to be the #1 direct sales company in the world, not by being the biggest in terms of our revenue, but by paying our distributors more than anybody else in the industry. We will accomplish that goal at $5 billion, which is why that's our magic number. We'll be paying $2.2 billion in commissions at that time, and we will therefore take over Amway in terms of commissions paid. Nu Skin pays about 10 to 15% more than any of those other 5 companies pays. Okay? Why? We pay 6 generations of volume here as opposed to 3 or 4 generations. Okay? If you look at that, that is exponentially larger. So Nu Skin pays back about 42 to 43% back to distributors like you and I. So when they started this company, okay, they knew they had something. They had this concept of all the good, none of the bad, and they knew that they had an opportunity for people. And in the first 5 years of their growth, Nu Skin from 1984 to 1989 was doing about $40 to $50 million a year annually. Now that's pretty good for a startup, right? But what happened in 1989 to 1991 is why you guys are here now. Okay? They grew from 40 to 50 million to 500 plus million in 19 months. And they did it between Canada and the United States, so just in North America. A lot of people think that they went to Asia at that time. It's not true. Okay? My question for each of you is why? How? Clearly they had to have a good product. Right? People had to want the product. People had to buy the product. Okay? I'll tell you a little story about the products. They were so poor in the beginning that they had this lotions and potions in these big vats in the basement of their apartment. And people would come with their Tupperware, okay, and their jars, and they would spoon it in, and they would sell it by the ounce, and it just started to spread. Everybody started talking about it, and they grew. Again, to $50 million some odd dollars. But why? Why did they grow from 50 million to 500 plus million in 19 months? The product was good. The product had to represent value in the marketplace. I don't believe the concept in network marketing that it's an overpriced product. Okay? That was my biggest skepticism, was I'm not going to pay 5 to 10 times for the same product I could go get in the store. They were exclusive. You couldn't get the natural product anywhere else in the world except through Nu Skin at the time. And now other products have come out and used humectants. Okay? And the product represented real value, so people still had to want it and want to buy it. But what really was going on? Does anyone remember Black Friday, October 1987? What happened? 23% of the market dropped overnight. IBM started laying off their top executives. Right? The people that had worked there the longest, major companies were laying off people. What happens when you enter into a recession? And by the way, by 1989, we were in a full-fledged, massive recession. They had said at that time it was the worst economic climate they had seen since the Great Depression. What happens? What happens to a traditional business person who's no longer able to make the same kind of income? Or someone in real estate or mortgage or anywhere else? What do? These are successful people. They look for alternative ways to make money. And many of those people migrated to this opportunity. One in particular's name is Nathan Riggs. who joined in 1989. He happens to be, go ahead guys, he happens to be the brother-in-law of Craig Tillotson, or the brother-in-law of Sandy Tillotson. Okay? And he was originally doing real estate. What happens to real estate markets in a recession? They go down. So even though his brother-in-law Craig and their close family had started Nu Skin in 1984, it really took 5 years before Nathan Ricks decided he was really going to do it. Okay? This is significant because to date, Nathan Ricks has about 60% of all of Nu Skin underneath him. And I wanted to introduce the players to you. We grew to 550 million. At that moment in time in 1989, okay, to 1991, so 1991, we decided to start constructing this building. Initially, we were only going to occupy the top floors, but the business was booming, and so we ended up occupying the entire building, and someone said this is the tallest building in Provo, and that's all they know about Nu Skin, and it happens to be true. Okay? We opened up Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Japan between 1991 and 1993, and our income skyrocketed to about 890 million by about 1996. We went public in Japan in 1995, and we decided in 1996 that that was a good move, so we became globally public. We're traded on the NASDAQ, and the New York Stock Exchange. NUS is our symbol, our ticker symbol. And the reality is we've had 20 quarters of record growth. Why? People want the products. Okay, products have to be good, have to represent a value. What's really going on?
Business model.
Business model is good. What's happened to the economy? You're here today to see the patterns of history, because history repeats itself. And we're in that pattern, we're in that period right now where amazing people, okay, are being attracted to alternative ways of making income. Okay? It's exactly the same as it was in 1989 to 1991. Yet the opportunity is 10 times as big. Okay? So the fact of the matter is, okay, we grew. We grew because of our vision to be a force for good in the world. I don't believe that if we didn't believe in contribution at the level that we did, that we would have grown to this level. So I want you to think about that. Something happened, though, in about 1996, and that is that we didn't grow in 1997. So we went on this hyper growth. We didn't grow in 1998. We didn't grow in 1999. We didn't grow in 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004. We flatlined. So follow me over here and let's talk about that for a minute.